Walking Macau Streets. Dear Lord, show me a sign. Give me a map. Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is called Enleio, Travessa de Enleio, and this is going to be the lane that we're going to go down. But before we even start it, I'm going to go down a little bit like this, and I'm just going to highlight some of the cool stuff around here so you can check out some really interesting apartments, like that narrow one with the windows that are almost on 3 sides. Then you have those ones right there. These are windows too that are like a concave shape as well. So there's a lot of interesting stuff right in this area, and we're not too far. We're in Patani, so I'm going to explain the whole Patani area in a moment. But anyways, this is going to be the start of our video. This is going to be the lane that we're going to go down, and we're going to be at this starting spot in these alleys of Patani. So stay tuned for another slice of Macau. Macau. So we got a real interesting one here in Patani. And this is called Enleio, Travessa de Enleio. And I found out some pretty interesting stuff, so I'll put it behind me. But I found out that in Portuguese, Enleio means like burdened or concerned, or actually I guess it means entanglement is what it means, entanglement. And then the Chinese words, there's 3 characters. The first one means to hang or to be concerned about. The second one means tired or burdened. And the third one means alley or lane. So both in Chinese and in Portuguese, they both kind of have this meaning that kind of say like the alley of concerns or the burdened alley. So that's kind of a really interesting name that it has. Both in Chinese and Portuguese are actually congruent. They have the same meaning, which is not always the case in Macau. Sometimes they're completely different. But so this lane is kind of narrow, and it's in this Patani area. So I'm going to be talking all about it, but I'm going to do a music part first. And I'm kind of playing around with AI, so I created some lyrics for this kind of thing. I said I want a man that's kind of desolate or lonely or, you know, like burdened, and make a song about it. And then I found some music to with another AI program. So anyways, you're gonna see that, and then also you're gonna hear that, and then also I have this Patani area that we're in. So this small street has that meaning to it. But I'm also going to show you in the walk and talk. I'm going to go into the Patani area, go down to the Patani Watch Museum, and kind of give you a little background about the whole area, because it's really, really interesting. Patani Village, pirates, Patani Night Watch, Chinese settlement up against the ocean, Commerce Park in the background. Anyways, let's get into it. So first we're going to do the video music with the desolate narrow street, and I'll put some images of the whole video though. So anyways,
in the heart of old Macau, there's a lane so tight where shadows whisper secrets in the dead of night. Travessa de Enleio, where a man once roamed. In the alley of concerns he called his home. Oh, Enleio alley, where sorrows lay. In the winding paths where dreams decay. Burdened by the past, with a heavy sigh. In the heart of Macau, he lived and cried. Cobblestones and memories in the narrow way. Every step a struggle through night and day. Gualeishiyang, where burdens hang. In the tangled streets, his heartstrings sang. Oh, Enleio alley, where sorrows lay. In the winding paths where trees decay. Burdened by the past, with a heavy sigh. In the heart of Macau, he lived and cried.
loop down a little bit. So we got these kind of cool alleys. This goes out to the waterfront and Patani Market, and it goes out to, there's actually some ships and boats that are in this area. This area is this Patani village area, and then down that way is a street called Palmeira. So Palmeira is this one. So that would have been historic Patani village back in the Chinese settlement, back when there's a Portuguese settlement. So that has a lot of history here, but this lane would be all on the reclaimed land area. And we're gonna stroll down this one and just kind of check out what all we got in here. And yeah, and I don't think I have filmed this particular lane before. So today would be the first time. Usually when I come down to this area, I usually start navigating over towards that Palmeira, which is where the historical road that would have followed the ocean was at. So it's kind of interesting to see something a little bit different. There's like some corrugated metal, and that's that one with those big circular ones on the corner, which is kind of interesting. Looks like they're doing some construction right there. Check out this old post box. Got like a little wagon on there. Okay. So we'll see what we can see in this area. I don't know what to expect. These are rain guards right here. Sorry, typhoon guards, floodgates. So they put these up, and then they, so that's probably implies that this is a flood zone during typhoons. Yeah, there's more right there too. So there's, that would be a concern in this area. See, this looks like real estate. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting alley. And I'm just gonna try to highlight some of the buildings too. This building just has these big large windows, but they're all like unseeable. So it's a pretty narrow alley, but kind of cool. So you can't have, there's no cars that can come through in here. It's just all motorcycles and stuff like that. Consultancies right there. And then check out these windows too. These windows kind of come out a little bit. So you can see these style of windows, they go out like that. So there's a whole style right in there. Then it looks like this looks like a parking garage. So this was probably, like you can see, like when you see these things, you kind of know there used to be something that was there before. So there was probably a narrow building, and you can see that too, right? And then they would have built these tall buildings up above it. And now it's just a parking garage for motorbikes. And yeah, this lane is so narrow that you couldn't bring any cars in anyways. Okay, so let's just keep on going down it. So that's where we came down. And this is where we're going. Okay, so I can kind of see some of the apartments that are coming up. So this does come out to kind of an interesting area. Let's see, this goes, okay. So actually this goes out to this main road over here. I think it's called Ribeiro de Patani, I think. This is kind of old style building, so we saw some of those. That's, I guess they used to build those a lot, and then they went down. They tore that one down that was between in the alleys. But you can see that rooftop style right there. So that was the same mark as that other one. So kind of an older style type. That's our alley. It's a really quiet holiday today as well. Then we're still on our Travessa right here, and I think it's going to end down in this area. So yeah, that's going to be the end of it. It's a really tall building up there. So this is basically Enleio lane. And we're basically in this little Patani area, so I guess I'm going to end this video. We're at about 5 minutes in. So let me do a little bit of a, and then I kind of know that this Ribeiro Lane is going to go to something interesting, so we're just going to follow this down, and then I'll end the video. I'm going to show you Patani Market, Patani Night Watchman. So we're going to look at that real quick. There's some brick. So this leads to Palmera. Palmera is where the historic ocean would have been, and this would have been a road that would have followed the ocean, so it would have had like waterfront. And I think it comes right out to the let me do a quick preview here. So we just went down that lane and then a parallel with this. So this is Palmera. We were down Enleio, which was part of the reclaimed land area. Now we're on something that would have been the historic this would have been the historic waterfront. And then down this way is the Patani Night Watchman. So this building right here is where historically the night watchman would have stayed. Let's see, let's find to check something out real quick. There's all these little cool alleys in here too, like this little courtyard. This is so interesting, right? So that yellow building right there is where the night watchman would stay in Patani, and there's a whole museum devoted to him, to that occupation. So that occupation, they would have stayed watch guard at nighttime, and this would have been on the ocean as well. But if maybe there was something that happened, like weather that was coming in, or a fire, or flooding from a storm, they would notify everybody in the community. And this is where the museum is at. So I'm just gonna walk in real quick. Hello. Thank you. So this is the museum of the night watchman right here. So you can see that he would have the sound alarms. You can also see some images of what Patani looked like historically as well. And this whole place is all devoted to the night watchman. You got whistles, you got flashlights, you have lamps. So he would walk around this whole neighborhood, and I guess this is the historic neighborhood. And I think that Palmera, I think the water side, I guess the water side would be here. So this would have been the historic, and then this would be, there's a temple that's just down the street a little ways as well. And I did film this whole thing and I labeled it accordingly, so I'll put it at the end. So if you wanted to see this again fully, I can. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I have one. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye. So that's the night watchman, and then this is that temple. So there was a picture of the temple that was on the water, and so I think that this wall right here would have been the water, ocean would have lapped up against it, I believe. So yeah, that's so anyways, this is Patani, and we just did a little Enleio lane right there. So hopefully interesting. And I guess on that note, I think what I'm gonna do is just go down to that temple, and then I'm gonna end it. So now you got a little touch. Oh, there's another story I can tell you too. There's pirates used to be in this area because of the Chinese settlement, and they would have access to the ocean. And there was one famous one that he's actually has a Wikipedia page in English and everything, but he was quite notorious. And then in the end, he was actually rewarded with a government job because he did something quite heroic. And then I guess he bought a house where he brought his parents to live out their days in this Patani area, which is kind of interesting as well. And then lastly, I guess we're gonna just come right here to this temple. And we got Guiyang and Tudi Gong and Tudi Ko. And I guess on that note, we'll end it. And Enleio is right down in that little alley, right down in that way. So there you go.